Diablo's Den, Corona Chronicles, episode number 22. I'm your co-host, Jay Reason. I'm here with the one and only Lord Isaac, aka Danny Diablo.
What up? Is that good? You hear me?
Oh yeah, good? Man, I can hear you.
What's up, Jay? How you doing, Jay?
I'm doing great. How about yourself, man? What's going on?
Yeah, it's New Year. Happy New Year, Jay. Happy New Year.
I was gonna say, so yeah, last we talked was well, not you and I obviously talk all the time, but I'm saying last we talked with our listeners here was in November. We had Freddie Alva on, but everybody deserves a little holiday break. We got the store that was crazy, and you had a bunch of shit going on.
I was playing shows and stuff like that, so it's cool. It's cool.
It's cool. Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool.
So we're gonna talk about a bunch of stuff, man. We got a really a dope episode for you today, but I want to catch up with you because you actually were, like you just said, man, super busy over the break. I, on the other hand, was not, which was a very welcome thing. I did nothing, man, except smoke a bunch of pot and watch movies and smoke, the whole.
That's
thing.
Good. That's
my favorite shit.
I love smoking weed. You know?
I mean, I think anybody who knows me knows that. In my public life, I don't know. I don't know how many people know that, but I'm a big that's my favorite thing. I don't drink
pothead
that much, but sick burnout pothead,
for sure.
So
what I did
I was gonna say, I want to talk actually first, man. You did this dope art show,
Queens Graffiti Legends.
So talk about that, because that shit looked off the hook, dude.
It was like 400 people in a place big as my apartment. It was 2 floors. It's a Village Works bookstore in the Lower East Side. It actually was like right across the street from the old Hells Angels 3rd Street Clubhouse, where it used to be the building. It was right there. So
how did you get involved in that? Like
I basically, there was a book called Queens Graffiti Legends,
and in the book
by Freddie Alva. Shout out to Freddie Alva, my Peruvian Jackson Heights brother. He did, Freddie Alva's a great guy. He put this together, all Queens graffiti writers, and everyone had to do a page, a piece on the people. When I mean piece, I mean art, graffiti of someone that influenced you. It could be dead or it could be alive. And my guy, the influence when I was young, one of the graffiti writers I grew up with in Jackson Heights, but more of the Woodside side. From Woodside was a writer called Ha Ha Ha. It was a tag that only people in Queens know about this. It's actually a writer called Jimmy 131 and Mike 79. That's the crew over there. Engie, shout out to Engie. Shout out to Neo. Shout out to my brother Ken 357. Shout out to Jamie Prince, Bane. All these people, man. You know what I mean? Like shout out to Damp. But I did Ha Ha Ha. And it was like, I remember going to PS 152 when I was a kid and seeing Ha 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 everywhere, all over Northern Boulevard, 65th and Broadway, right by White Castle. Used to be over there by Roosevelt, by USA Roller Rink. I'm talking about 70s to 80s, early 80s. So basically, we did that book was so dope. They did everyone who was in there did a art gallery, did 2 canvases, and I did 2 canvases, and my canvas, it was cool going into the fucking place, smaller place, and my shit was hanging there. And if you see some pictures online, Richard Manitoba for the Dictators, it went the next day and stood in front of them, took pictures. Basically,
that's dope.
It's there to, if you're in New York City, go to the Village Works to January 30th, all the art's there. So if you want to buy my art or buy other people's art, or you just want to see some dope Queens graffiti, real shit, real graffiti from old school guys, go to Village Works in the city, on the Lower East Side, and the gallery's up right now. And you can buy it online. You go to villageworks.com and go online, and all over the world they shipped it. It's in a catalog. It's in a book too.
That's cool. So if somebody was they saw your piece, they don't have to be in New York.
No. Right now, go to my Instagram or go to
we'll put a link to direct on that.
And buy my shit right now. One thing I have to do. Shout out to my girl Storm, who came to support me. Shout out to Peter Green, who came.
I saw Peter Green.
Vinny Stigma, Mike Gallo came down.
Shout out, man. Gallo.
Vinny Stigma, Peter Green are insane.
Oof. But that's a fun night.
Ken 357 and the son were there. Ken's from Astoria, Queens. He's in the book, Ken 357. Check out, but he made me this. I want to show you guys. this thing he made for my birthday. This is crazy. I'll show you. He gave it to me. My birthday was December 20th. So,
Oh, that's sick, dude.
yo, how dope is that?
Yeah,
my
that's
Danny
sick.
Diablo, my logo, polyurethane, whatever.
Yeah,
Yo, look how dope
epoxy,
that
right?
is.
Is that like
Epoxy,
epoxy? Yeah, that's
yeah.
just
Look how
sick.
dope. Like, shout out to Ken 357. That's my brother, my nigga, my brother. Queens all day, Astoria, Bryan High School, baby. That's how we do.
Love
All
it.
right, sorry.
Yo, the other cool thing that you just announced, and we have talked about this a little bit on previous episodes, but it's a fucking for real thing now, is the fucking new Scarhead has a
oh shit, yeah,
date of February 14th, and along with
Valentine's
that,
Day.
Valentine's Day. So get your girlfriend that, she'll love it.
The single drops. It's
yo,
the single's called.
Yo, if you have a girl, if you're dating a girl who gets excited to get the new Scarhead CD on Valentine's Day,
you better dump her real quick. Yo, you have a girl that likes any of my music, you're getting rid of her. That's gonna be a problem. But check it. It's called Defiance.
Defiance.
So
did you change you changed the title? Originally we were going Generators
no,
of Violence.
No. Generators of Violence is named the album, but we're dropping the single.
Oh, okay.
On February 14th.
Okay, perfect.
So it's called Defiance, and it's all about what's going on in the world today. It's about stand up, fight for your rights.
I love it.
I talk about it. I don't talk politics and shit like that because I hate that shit. But I talk about standing for your rights. About the lyrics really mean a lot to me this time.
Awesome.
Before Scarhead, whoever, it means like about my ancestors have been killed in mass graves. I'm talking about my ancestors, my Taino Indian ancestors, my Jewish ancestors, my Black ancestors. All three, it runs in my blood. So I'm talking about, you can't let that shit happen again.
Yeah, that's dope.
You got to fight for your right, baby. That's it.
That's dope. And
fuck Joe Fatal.
the other big news alongside that, man, is that you were doing a real tour around this release, right?
Oh shit. All right, so listen. Yes, we're touring in March and April, and Generators of Violence was the name of the EP. Scarhead on Force by Records. We got 3 features.
And it's you, Scam Dust, right?
Yeah, I hope we Scam Dust can do it. Listen, it's so crazy. I don't know. These guys are so fucking fucked up. So I bring whoever I want, whoever can bring, whoever had lost the job and get thrown out by the girlfriend or wife, I'll take. It's like the Fresh Air Fund for hardcore. I take people out all over the world. But listen, whoever does this tour, it's on. So it's basically Scarhead, Concrete Dream, which I manage, and I just signed them to Suburban Noise Records. Shout out to Concrete Dream. Okay, cool. I got them the record deal. Big Daddy.
I know you were working on last we talked about they had just those demos with Billy, and you were shopping the deal.
Yeah,
so
Billy Bob has the single, one of the new singles. So we're re-putting out something on Suburban Noise with Concrete Dream. I love them. Please go check out Concrete Dream. Go to the YouTube. Check out the videos, the music.
Is this their first tour, E?
First tour ever.
So that'll be good. So a lot of our
so I'm taking them under my wing.
Oof. Well,
that poor kid.
Hey, look how good I turned out, dude. You know what I'm saying?
I know. Look what I fucked your whole life up. Listen. Listen to this. Check this out. Concrete Dream. The DRP who owns Force Fight Records and runs it. My manager is he's also on the tour, and Tony Slippers.
He's like Puffy.
Yeah.
He's on the album. Yeah. The album out on the tour.
He's all over the video.
Yeah.
And shout out to Tony Slippers from the Ill Rock Records. It's going to be opening up the whole tour.
Okay. Yeah. So that's
how I do it. I decided just to support people who support me. I've been helping out people for a long time.
We were talking about that a little earlier offline.
Yeah, I want to show you online right now. It's time to cut the umbilical cord.
Yeah.
If you're not, listen, I'm tired of helping people out and fucking me over. That means every time I
the favorite bank is closed, right?
The favorite bank's closed, but the money bank's open. So if you would need real help,
get that cameo.
It's gonna cost you. Get the cameo right now too. And your bands, whatever you want to get put on, hit me up and put $500 in my WhatsApp, nigga, and then we can talk.
I love it. So that's gonna be a cool thing. We are gonna put up. I'm gonna put out some information on that tour, because if anybody does want to book that in your area,
Josh, hit
let me know.
Hit the email ASAP, and book all over the United States. We want to get booked everywhere, Vegas, everywhere.
Yeah,
everywhere.
fuck yeah. If we get Vegas, we know we got to shout out to my boys Purity. You're gonna
we get them on. We get them on.
I'm gonna plug real quick. I think I had mentioned this on the last episode, but now it's here. Rolling Coffin cassette. Tim from VOD's new project. You've heard me talk about it. Static Era Records. Pick this up, staticera.com. What else? Is there anything else? What else?
Yes. I've been talking to, the movie I did with Real Wolf with Tom Vujic.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
That's gonna be available. That's gonna be available soon. But also, he's doing a documentary right now with about Coogee Rap, the rapper.
Sick.
But the next documentary is gonna be about Danny Diablo. It's gonna be
Awesome.
Danny Diablo from the gutter to glory.
I love it. I'm gonna be in there talking about the.
You'll be in there talking. We talk about the real grime. This is not about this. It's about me. It's not only about how good looking I am and how charismatic, what the fuck you say. You know what I'm saying? But and such a great musician, but amazing fighter, lover, but father, great father. But it's also showing how amazing I am to my friends and how talented I am.
You know what's funny, man, was something just made me think of something you posted the other day. It was real funny. And I don't know if I'll do the joke justice, but you had posted that like you were saying something about your music, and then your mom said, remind me. This I'm not trying to. It's just the way
it hurts. It hurts. Hold on, I'll put it right now.
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to.
No.
Okay.
I had to babysit my fucking nieces the other day, and poor Hoya couldn't stop laughing. Shout out to Hoya from Madball. Because one of my nieces is autistic and fucked up, and whenever I sing happy birthday, she flips out. So I was like, happy birthday. She started punching me, chasing me around the house. I took her comic book. She was like fucking me up. It was funny. It was so funny. I had a great time. I love my family. They're all fucked up. But this is what my mom said. Let's see.
And again, man, I'm not trying to.
No. Just be. My mom is a hard bitch. So
this is funny.
My mom just told my girl that I'm just like my father. That my father tried out for the Knicks and didn't make it. Kind of like me and my music. It hurts to the bone, son. Evil woman. Now I'm going to cry myself to sleep. Good night. So my mom was telling me, my girl, like, just like your dad. I'm going to try to be Knicks. I'm going to be the Knicks. And wait, became a cop. Take the police test. I was like, but I'm known all over the world, Mom. Just because you don't know, just because I'm not on People magazine and on a fucking stupid novella doesn't mean I'm not famous.
Because you're not on Z100 or something.
Yeah. I'm sorry. What's that girl's name? I'm sorry, not Natalie Merchant or Cher, Mom. Get the fuck out of here.
Not for nothing though. I bet Cher would like you.
I would fuck the shit out of
She looks great. Yeah.
Well, listen. I got one more thing. I had some crazy shit today. No, I'm not talking about it. I'm not talking about politics.
Are you going to share, or we're going to?
No, wait. I was 2 seconds. Can I do it?
Yeah.
So today
we have a great guest today too. But go ahead.
Yes, but hold on 2 seconds. I never post anything on Instagram like other people's pages. But some guy I saw a crazy thing. It says,
is this week's whack attack?
This week's whack attack.
Okay.
Right. And I forgot the guy's name, but he posted on a page. It's like a story. It said drunk driver gets verbally abused by New York City cop. I was like, wait, was it cop drunk driving? Or it didn't make no sense. So I'm reading it and they're like, oh, it's disgusting. As a Chinese guy, a cop today was Chinese. So it was an off-duty cop in the Bronx stop a drunk driver, right? So he stopped the drunk driver, and the guy started talking shit to him. He's like, fuck you, Taliban motherfucker. Stay right here. And the guy spit on him, and he went crazy on him. They stopped him, and the cops came and arrested the drunk driver. But they're like, the cops shouldn't say that language. I was like, first of all, he's off duty. First of all, that guy could have killed everyone. It's a drunk driver. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everyone was like, he said those words. I was like, shut the fuck up. Why we ran into your mother? They killed him. So one guy started breaking down. I said, you know how I broke it down to the guy? I went like this to him. Here it goes, Jay. I said this. I said, what if your sister was getting gang raped by a Chinese gang from Chinatown? And I ran up on the guy. The cop ran up on the guy, and the fifth guy is fucking his sister. And then like four of the guys ready to go. And the guy turns around, pulls the knife, and slices the cop. He slices the cop in the face. And he goes, "You fucking Chinese bastard!" And stabs him, shoots the guy, shoots everyone, and saves his sister. Are you that mad at him? You call them Chinese bastards for stopping the rape? Or are you gonna say thank you for saving my fucking sister from getting raped by 8 gang members? Doesn't make any sense.
You know, I'm glad that we don't tackle those kinds of questions on our podcast.
To me, it's like, yo, thank you for saving my fucking sister. You know what I mean? Thank you for saving my mom not getting raped. Who cares? I don't give a fuck. You call those guys fucking dragonfly faces. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? Just, hey, whatever racial thing, the kike, Jew, nigga, spick, I don't care what you call them. Save my fucking sister, Kyle. Thank you. That's it?
Yeah, no.
So all you won't motherfuckers think about that, because most of you guys talk all the shit on the fucking thing, and I will break your necks, you little fucks. All right, bye.
So there you heard it.
Sorry.
But yeah, so there you heard it.
Shout out to Cruel Hand.
Shout out to Cruel Hand. We got a very cool guest today. We're mostly known on this show for mostly music, guys. I got to be honest. Yeah. We're starting the year off though, Diablo's Den, with some new shit, a twist.
Yes.
My man who's joining us today is an actor. And when I say an actor, I know people are probably like, oh yeah, whatever. No, this is like a legit, real motherfucker who's been in mad shit that you all like, mad shit that me and E like. Yep. We're going to get our guest on now, and I'm going to give him an introduction. So hang on 1 second, and we'll be right back. You guys will probably recognize our guest from one of probably the biggest TV shows. Season 1 and 2, he played Agent Skip Lipari. But on top of that, my man has been in Natural Born Killers, 24, Entourage. I mean, you fucking name it. On top of that, dude, in the brief time that I've gotten to know him, prepping for the show, the guy has been amazing. So I really would like to fucking welcome Louis Lombardi to the show tonight. Hey. Awesome. So, Louis, thank you so much for joining us, dude. Me and Isaac are so excited to have you on, dude. So how have you been, dude? What's been going on with you?
I've been great, man. I've been busy, I've been, even though last year was a tough year for people, and thank God, I've been kind of moseying through the progress, and, I ended up doing The Rock's new show called The Young Rock. It's
awesome.
Yeah, the wrestling thing, that was cool.
Yeah, and I did like 3 episodes, and I kind of like, the things were slow, so, I'm launching a frozen pizza line, I'm doing a movie, I'm working on a couple of other projects right now, a TV show that I created about my life with MGM, about growing up in the Bronx and shit, yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
We're about to pitch it next month. We have a massive showrunner. Hopefully we shoot it in the Bronx. If not, we're working on maybe Detroit or the Bronx, but we have to sell it first. But it's a really great concept about me and all my buddies growing up with no fathers in the Bronx.
Oh, man.
And how we hustled the shit out of our lives. And, a lot of them got 25 years that are just getting out. And I was fortunate enough to have a dream. I want to be an actor. When I was 14, we were all the street kids. And everybody's like, you're out of your mind. Cut to... my grandfather did 30 straight years in prison, and all my friends. So as I progressed, like Sopranos, I played the FBI. 24, I played the FBI. So they would all watch me in the prison system and be like, you're the cop. Like, my grandfather would be like, he's just a cop on TV, But it's kind of funny because that was the progression. So the point of that, what I was trying to say is, when you're a kid and you have a dream, you might not have money. You might not have an education. I went to 5th grade. I didn't go to acting school, film school, any school. And hustle the fuck out of the streets, So what I did was I didn't listen to people's negativity at a young age, at 13. I'll show you headshots at me at 13. You'll be like, get the fuck out of here. I'm like, yeah, people think I walked onto the set of Sopranos and they were like, you're a star. I'm like, I put fucking 38 years of my life
before
into
you got
it.
Right, totally. And
bro.
I want to talk a little bit about that, because I know that to your point, like you had said, you hadn't gone to film school and stuff, but you got some of your starts doing some NYU early acting, right? Kind of picking up a few things from there, right?
And when people go, growing up, I wasn't a school person. I just,
neither Isaac and I aren't either. So you're in the right.
I'm more of a guy. You put me in, I'll learn, and I'll learn in a minute. I'll be great at it.
Yep.
But when I have to read books and comprehend, I don't know. I just never was me. So growing up, we would hustle on the streets since 12, 13 on. That was our lives. You know, it was 4 kids I grew up with. None of us had fathers. So we would just constantly hustle, right? And you know, as years went on, I like 13, 14, I always had that acting thing. And people say the bug, but as a 5, 6, 10-year-old, I would watch Odd Couple, All in the Family, Happy Days, all these shows, and I would be sitting in my grandma's basement alone, and I would be fixated on that TV. And it turned out that I when I was like 13, old enough to go get a headshot, I did. And then what I would do is, I didn't go to acting school, so I would submit all my headshots to NYU films, independent films, do anything out there that was real.
That would take you, right? You would submit it, and then you would just go wherever you could, wherever they came your way, right? And
I'm going to tell you something. What started my career, and people go, "Oh, it's little shit." So when I used to bring these little student films back to the Bronx and the social clubs, and go, look, what the fuck is that? Like, what are you doing? Like, what are you sucking down? What the fuck is your mentality, motherfuckers? You know that mentality where the street people they don't see anything else. I always had this vision. So I auditioned 1, 2, 3. I ended up doing like 20 of them. I would bring like weed down to the kids. I would be like this young. They would be these student kids. I would buy them all drinks at the bar. You know, pitches of $5 down at NYU on 3rd Avenue, and we would get drunk, and I ended up making friendships. So he passed me around. He passed me around. He passed me around. Before you know it, I'm in 20 NYU films, right? Which was the best thing that ever happened. And remember, I didn't spend a nickel in any acting school.
Oh, no acting school, right? No acting school.
Right, and that was acting. I tell people now, they go, I'm 20 years of acting school. I said, quit. If you're in 10 years of acting school, fucking quit. Because it could be something you'll be able to pick up and be natural with. You don't need 10 years. So all that experience, being on a live set, there's nothing more. You could be in a classroom and cry in your bathroom and your mom tell you how great you are, right? But if you're on a set and you have the fucking ball in your hands, you fumble, bro.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like you're in a real situation with real people, not crying in your mom's basement. So I would tell young actors, do NYU films. You're on a real set, and those sets are pretty big. They're like $50,000, $100,000 movies. Back then, when I was fucking, it's 40 years ago, you know? So I would hustle, and I made a great reputation down at NYU, and I learned I got a $50,000 a year education by being on those sets all the time for free.
That's amazing.
I learned how to act in a real situation, because when they yell action and cut, that's where the acting is. It's not memorizing lines. It's the fucking distraction of acting. Makeup, hair, wardrobe, do your line. You can't move this, action. You're like, you got to compress 30 things within a second and then hit, right?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And you got everybody right, and you got everybody watching you, so it's like
the pressure. So I call it the downward spiral. Actors would fuck up a line and start to be insecure. See me, I don't give a fuck. I'd be like, get out of my way. And that's my strength as an actor, like my street kind of strong mentality.
It helped you out. Your street mentality.
And I say that all the time to people. I don't regret I love my past, because my past bred me for my future, which the streets are tough. We all know. I'm sure you know. I don't know how you grew up, but we all know the streets are tough, right? Especially when you got nobody and no one and you're a kid. But you move to Hollywood. Hollywood is tougher. It rips people's minds out. It fucks with people. It rules your soul. And I was able to adapt like a chameleon. And people are like, how the fuck do you do? I'm used to this shit. The only thing I have here is if you don't give me the role, I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to get killed. I walk out of the room and I move on to the next. And I was always polite when I didn't get the roles. No worries. Thanks. See you on the next one. And guess what happened? On the next one, years later, you got hired.
Yeah.
Not being that douchebag guy. Fuck you, mother.
Yeah.
No.
It's so. Can you hear me, Jay?
Yeah.
All right. Listen, it's all about how you like show respect. How you walk with people, interact with people. That's how it is. And people always remember that. If you're cool, they'll remember that.
Right. And I know people are like, I didn't get that audition. Fuck that. I go, whoa. This is a career. You'll be here 30 years doing it. And I'm here 30 years in LA.
You never know. Like, you never know.
People go, hey, Louis, remember how about whenever something's right and they might think of you, then it is. You don't do that. Unless somebody fucks with you and says something, then you kind of, I don't want to be around you. I'm fine with that. You know, I don't need your parole. I'd just rather not deal with you if you're going to be mean and be rude. You know, you don't want to be upset with tensions. It makes you fucked up as an actor. I'd rather not take the jobs and go, I don't want to fight with you. I just want to go on. Yeah. I want to have fun doing what I do. That's my life. Whether
you seem like you have an amazing time. You're always happy. Every time I see you, you're always happy.
You know why, bud? Because I grew up, like I said, like in the streets, like, you know, a lot of people I know were killed growing up. And, you know, you learn to kind of go, that's life, you know, and you kind of move forward, right? People get stuck on things and they can never move forward. I mean, I've had a lot of deaths. Like my father was killed when I was like 2, you know, and we just grew up on the streets and, you know, we just had no choice. It wasn't like I said, hey, I'm going to be a gangster. No, I had no choice. I was thrust into that. Grandfather did 30 years. My grandfather was one of the main guys in the French Connection stuff.
I was trying to ask. I would tell you that it's so crazy because I always see you play a gangster or you can play a cop. You can great in both areas. There's a little border right there, right?
I like the cop. I love the cop roles because all my friends in prison call me and they're like, "You're a cop." I'm like, I'm a cop, bro. So I'm like, no, I'm actually crazy and sad as it may seem. I'm like really famous throughout the federal prison system. You know, all the guys for all the years would get on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh shit, Baby Lou. They call me Baby Lou because I was baby then. Now I'm like a big fucking Neanderthal. And they'd be like, yo, Baby Lou, you're the cop, you're the Sopranos. They would pass me around the prisons all over the country with phones. And the guys come out, you know, my grandfather's friends, guys that brought me up in a way, you know.
Guys who've been there for a long time, huh? A long time.
Yeah, my grandfather did 30 straight.
God
That's
bless.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
Louis, I want to jump back a little bit to the early career because I know now you're in on the West Coast, but did most of your career, obviously it started in New York, but what made you move to California?
Okay,
talk a little bit about that.
Ready? Wait, can I continue with my, listen to this.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm doing these NYU films, right?
Yeah.
I'm like 20 now. I've been doing them for like 6, 7, 8 years, right? And I love it. I loved it. It was like my addiction, you know? I love doing it. So I ended up sending out my pitches to I was sending them out to everything.
Yeah.
Remember Backstage?
Yeah, the newspaper.
Yeah, I would submit every single thing in Backstage. I don't care if it fit me or not. Every project. You might like me for something else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because somebody might see you and go, oh, I got this part. This dude is good for this or something, right?
Yeah, nice. Like, you know, big Italian, fat Italian guy. You don't just go, I'm going to submit that. No, what you do is you go, I'm going to submit to everything. That dude might go, hey, I like this guy's face. Boom. Yeah. And that happened. So anyway, I submit the shit out of Backstage. I get an audition. And it's for this independent film called Amongst Friends.
Wait, hold on. One of my favorite movies. One of my favorite movies ever.
Don't say that. Let me explain what it is first. And then you'll all right. So we do this movie, right, bro? And we auditioned for it, and there was another big guy, right? He was Dominique, right? And he was auditioning. I was auditioning for the same role in this little film. Mira Sabino was the casting person. She was no one. Like, this was 1990, bro. Yeah. And me and the other dude go in. He goes in, he auditions. I go in, I audition. And they call us. And they're like, we love you both. We want to.
Oh, that's what you had to put the two
yes.
Yes.
Me and that dude became brothers.
So man, that's
dope.
1991. We became brothers. Like, this is 30 years later.
Yo, that's my favorite movie. That's my favorite. Sergio Tacchini's. You have Sergio Tacchini.
So now we choose this film. We start shooting little bits throughout Long Island. The kids are doing it. Rob Weiss, his dad's like a half a gangster.
Yeah.
The guy running casinos in Long Island. Great guy ever. Those jogging suits were his dad's. We would go in his boy.
Oh.
Hey, dude, if you would have saw his dad, you would have been like, Louis, is that your dad? He looked just. He didn't look like Rob Weiss. He looked like me and Frank, was my brother. Frank is like my family. And we took every time we go to shoot the scenes, we go to his bedroom. He'd be like, don't mess them up, don't shit in them. And we would take his jogging suits, and we wore all those suits with his tags.
Yo,
oh man.
Yeah, so we do this film 2 years later, right, bro? Yeah. 2 years later, we make friends with them. We all just hanging out 2 years. This movie finally gets, the director calls me now. A year before, 46 of my dudes got arrested, like in the Bronx. So there was no one around anymore. This was almost like God saying, here, leave. So all my buddies get arrested, and I'm sitting in my house, and I'm like a year gone by, and I'm like, wow, like this is it. This is terrible. Families are destroyed, and I'm not saying anyone's innocent or wrong. Everyone's a criminal to do something. I'm not saying. I'm not
judging. You're not judging, not glorifying. You're just saying how it is.
Yeah. So I'm like home and I'm going, wow, I lost everyone.
Yeah.
46 people like in one day. And I'm like, a year later, I get a call from the director. This is 2.5 years after we did the movie, bro.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, hey, Louis, we're going to Sundance. Now, Sundance was nothing. It was a little film festival in 1993.
Yeah.
And it was like, and the people came out were like Steven Soderbergh a year before, Quentin Tarantino, Brian Singer came out the year we were there. So a lot of filmmakers came out then that are now relevant, but they weren't. Now it's shit compared to what it was, right? So anyway, I have nobody. I got $5,000 left. We can't do the streets anymore because FBI's everywhere. They were literally everyone daily. And I was sitting there, I have $5,000 left. I bought a Maxima car.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And I had nothing. I still got that picture, bro. It's my motivation on my refrigerator. I'll still with you. And I was like, and the dude's like, Louis, they're doing this film. It's going to be at Sundance. It's a festival. He goes, drive to Utah from the Bronx. And I'm like, I call my dude Frank, the dude.
Yeah.
He was kind of homeless. So when I met him, he was, like a drug user and stuff. So I took him in. I would give him everything, and I go, Frank, let's go, let's do it. He packs up. I
road trip.
Road trip. I got the video. It's so sad. Me and him eating everywhere, fighting in the hotel. So he goes. So we the movie goes. We said, fuck it. I go. I got nothing. Right. Yeah. I got here. Nobody's here anymore. I get my car. Took my $5,000. Picked him up in Queens, and we left. And you know what? Drove to Sundance. Our film. First, I drove to L.A. We stood in L.A. Living in Venice, dude, when the gangs were shooting each other. We would be out our window watching the Crips and the Bloods kill each other. And it was so crazy. And then I would leave the house and they would all like me. They'd be like, hey, what's up, bro? I was getting shot every day. They'd be like, hey, what's up, bro? I didn't like those guys. Yeah. You know, it'd always be like just in their yard, hanging out with them in the middle of this when Venice was bad.
Yeah, yeah.
So the Mira comes down, Mira Savino, she's nobody, bro. We get in the car from LA and we all four of us, me, Frank, this other big dude, and Mira, drive to Sundance. And the film.
Crazy.
That's cool. That's cool.
The film hits major, and I'm a kid with nothing in the Bronx. All of a sudden, I got an agent. We're like the biggest thing at Sundance. I go to LA, I get an agent. My first movie, Natural Born Killers. Oliver Stone meets me right after Sundance and goes, yo, I had no union card, nothing. He goes, I love your look. I went, really? And now remember this. I was always an Oliver fan, but I'm a Scorsese. I like his movies, but I'm not a real Scorsese fan. I like Coppola, a couple of movies, but I'm an Oliver Stone nut. Like I love Oliver. And he went to NYU. His professor was Oliver Martin Scorsese.
Oh, that's amazing.
First dude I meet in LA a week after Sundance is fucking Oliver Stone again.
Yo, Louis, it's almost like you manifested all of this.
Exactly, guys. And that's my point when I try to tell people.
Positive vibes.
Yeah.
Positivity, PMA. Yeah.
And believe, have hope, because hope is everything. And everything you do, why do people play the lotto? They're hoping. Why do people, their hope? Their hope is the biggest thing you can have in life.
Well, and if you're doing hope with the hard work, to your point, because a lot of people they think of that, but they don't put in the hard work like you did. You were out there doing all the you put yourself in every opportunity to be there.
But you know why I did? Because I loved what I was doing.
Yeah, it's amazing, man. That's such a cool. That is such a cool story, man. So you do Natural Born Killers. Tell me about being on the set with.
So I go back to LA. I meet Oliver. He's like, I'm in the room. I have no union card, nothing. I'm with Rob White, right? The dude comes to me. He goes, Oliver goes, come in the room. I go, really? Like, I'm in shock now. I met my fucking this is like I'm like, this is it. I thought it was like the top of the world. It was the beginning.
Amazing.
And I went to fifth grade, no acting school, no film school. I learned everything by just doing. And I'm with Oliver. He goes, hey, man, I love your look. I'm going to put you in my next movie. I go, what? Now I'm literally at the table going, you're kidding. He goes, don't worry, I'll call you. 2 months later, I get a phone call. Go to Oliver's office. I'm like, is this real? I have no union card, still nothing. I go to his fucking office. Who's sitting there? Robert Downey, Woody Harrelson, Tom Lee, Tom Sawyer. We're all sitting in the room. And he goes, Louis, come on in. He goes, this is your cast.
Oh, man.
And I go, oh my God. He goes, sit down with us. So I had to start eating with them, and I made friends with all these dudes. And before you know it, they're bringing other actors in that I idolized growing up to partner with me in Natural Born Killers. And I was like,
that's amazing. That's amazing.
You know? And that was my first initiation. I ended up going to Chicago, hanging out with, they loved me, where, again, Oliver just liked me, and so did Robert Downey, who was the nicest person. Never mind people's problems and shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And
I always try to go. There's a benefit of the doubt. You know, I don't want to. And I've seen a lot of guys die, drugs and murder. I always try like to go. Okay, it's okay. You know, he's not a bad person. You know, I know this person. And Downey was a great dude. And Downey was like massively messed up at the time, but he took me in. And I was
cool. That's so cool, man.
I was going with him every night. The Four Seasons partying, and Peter Gabriel would come in and play piano.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, the shit that happened on that movie, and they loved me, so they would take me out to dinner with them every night. There was like 10 of them and me, and I was a kid from the Bronx, like an extra basically, but they just loved me. I guess the personality, your energy that you bring to people, you know,
I think that a lot has to do with you is that you remind me of the neighborhood guy. You know what I mean? Like growing up. See, like when you're from the Bronx, I'm from Queens. I'm from Jackson Heights. But when I until I was 3 years old, I lived in Soundview, right by the White Castle, right those buildings over there. So my father was a cop, and my mother's from Spanish Harlem, and my father was a cop in the 2-3 precincts, and my mother worked at a donut shop. And
your dad was a cop?
My father was a cop.
Oh, how cool is that?
Oh my God, he was crazy.
In Harlem, you know, I grew up in Pleasant Avenue.
I know. My mother's from East River Houses, the Spanish Harlem.
Well, I grew up there because my whole family's from there, and I played football on Jefferson Park for 15 years in that Bud Light League. I was a semi-pro league, and our whole team was like, you know, now they're like the biggest guys on the street. But you look at the videos now, they were like quarterback. Everyone did time, and now they're all out. They were like running New York, and I'm like, holy shit, these are my football videos of watching all these dudes. When I was a kid, and I grew up in Harlem and the Bronx, and my whole family.
It's crazy. Funny. That's why every time I've seen you act, I tell you, Amongst Friends was when I first saw you, one of my favorite movies. I'm Puerto Rican and Jewish, so that's why I love Amongst Friends. There's the Jewish gangsters, and I was like, oh shit. So it's so crazy, but only in New York City you get that. That's why people gravitate to you. And I lived in LA for 8 years. I got signed by Travis Barker, and when I went out there, all the gangsters, everyone came up to me and were like, "Oh, just want to talk to me because I'm from New York and I'm from Queens," and they love it. They love it.
Yeah,
they love it. Yeah, they love it.
Great energy, dude. I watched this shit. I told Donnie, I said, "Dude, this guy needs to be in. When we do this movie, he needs to be in this movie." And then I saw one song you were doing. I didn't know if it was yours. I said, "Who sings that?" He goes, "You." And I was like, we got to use this shit in the movie if he's
definitely.
I don't know if he told that.
Yeah, I talked to Donnie and Big Chris, Don Caprio and I. Shout out to Donnie. Poor Donnie was my manager for like 10 years. Poor guy.
Oh God.
So that's why he's bald. That's why he's bald. I love you, Don Caprio. Yo, Big Chris.
Guys. I know him for 10, 15. He was my cousin. I met him through my cousin.
Oh, all right.
That guy has been nothing but the same person.
No, great guy. Great guy.
He's a personality. He's a fucking saint. Always respectful. Always a loving dude. I would love to be successful with that dude. I hope I'm with him because he's a great dude, man. And he's a talented guy. He's written, directed so many movies.
And he's been through hell. He's been to hell and back.
He wrote the Columbo book. I mean, the dude is a massive talent, and he's the fucking sweetest, nicest person. Yeah. I want to be friends with that guy till I die.
Yeah, shout out Donnie. He's the man. You know what? He's to Louis' point. Like, I know Donnie was one of the first kids I met out of state hardcore. You know, when he lived up in upstate New York. Always was the nicest, most welcoming dude, and he stayed the same. And that's why I'm always proud because him and Isaac have a label, and they have this band called Content.
I have a label with him.
It's cool to see them doing a lot of shit together. You know,
good. So we could use some of your guys' shit in this movie.
Yeah.
Promote whatever we gotta fucking promote, bro. Yeah, fuck yeah.
I've been doing the acting. I told Donnie and I. Oh, he got me into acting. So I did a movie with Peter Green that we won 7 awards. I'm doing a TV show with Kamal for the Berserky Boys right now called Crash the System. So it's like I'm getting
some of the shit. I told him. I said, I told him a while back. I said we got to use him. He's got a great book. He's got energy.
Thank you.
Ask him. I don't know if he told you. I said we got him. I go. We can put him in this. We can put him in there. You know? Yeah, you got a good energy and you got a good presence on screen. Let me tell you something.
Thank you.
Man. You know, and I watched some of the shit you do, and even your music, and you're an artist. You do this shit. you put this off, and I love that thing you got. He looks like Frankenberry. The face you.
Oh yeah, the Graphite, Graphite, yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
the my E, yes, my E.
Yeah.
It's an E, yeah.
Looks like
E.
Remember the cereal when you?
Yeah, it's Frankenberry, yeah.
It looks like the box. Every time I see that, I don't know if you notice. I like all those.
People tell me that all the time, and I love that character.
Me too. I go from that, which is great because that's a childhood.
Yeah,
I immediately assimilated it to that.
I'm gonna ask you a question right now. This out of nowhere, make you laugh. It's how New York I am, how New York you are. Growing up, I grew up. My father was a major Knicks fan. He used to take me to Madison Square Garden, all that stuff. My favorite basketball players in the world. I'm a Ewing fan, but
Bernard King.
Listen. If Bernard King didn't hurt his knee, he would be the best power forward in the world.
Better than he would have been higher than Jordan.
No, Bernard King would outbox Jordan any day.
Dude, we used to go to those games and sit courtside and bet everyone at fucking 15, 16. Yeah.
Look at old Ewing thing. I got from I never used it. I'm a thing.
He kind of choked a lot, him and Mark Jackson.
Ewing has the worst, at a center, had the worst hands.
Remember the little fucking hit that when it played in
the came down off the thing?
Yeah. Fuck out of here. Yeah.
My favorite forward ever is Dominique Wilkins.
Oh, Dominique, you're kidding?
Yeah, that's it. But I'm a Knicks fan. My father tried out for the Knicks. My father played for Brooklyn College, Brooklyn Tech High School, and played for the Army.
Did he really?
My father was
I was in the Army too.
My father was in the Army. My father was a cop. He was crazy, but
unbelievable.
But he got me into playing. But I was the biggest Knick, and lately I've been trying to get back into it. But in the '80s, I was the biggest ever. Forget it,
dude. And you know what? I just watched them. You should watch the Michael Jordan doc.
Oh, that's Scottie Pippen is the man. I love Scottie Pippen, the man.
And everybody claimed that he was his asshole, pain in the ass. And
Dennis Rodman too. Those guys were workhorses.
If it wasn't for those guys, Jordan would be one champion, maybe, and done.
Imagine if Dominique Wilkins had people around him that could play.
That's right. A lot of players that would have been great players. But I definitely think I was sick. I would watch that doc one night, and I was like, I'll watch an episode. Hooked. I was like, this, hit the controller because I lived that. I bet every game.
I love my girl hates sports, and she sat down and she loved it. I was trying to explain to her. I said, Michael Jordan is the biggest gambler in the fucking world.
I loved it.
He just wants to beat you and everything. I'm like, whoa, that's crazy.
I love that. Attitude guy, I'll fight. Let's go. Let's play. Let's play basketball. Let's play football. I'm down. I want to win. I want to win every play. And I tell young people that when you do shit, right?
Yeah.
Play to win, not the game.
Yeah.
Single fucking play.
Yeah.
I did that. I could have played college football if I would have went to school. I was like a superstar in this league. I was the youngest kid, Mauling dude. I'm famous for football in the Bronx. And I used to call him Maul, 6'8" guy, big. I used to be just this kid who was extremely talented in football. And that was it. So even now when I'm in meetings with shows, I'm like, guys, we're not here to have a great episode. We're great to have every scene needs to be killer. And that's the way I tell even now, like my daughter, you don't play to win a game, you play to win every play.
Yeah.
If I'm an offensive lineman, I want to win every play. I want to beat you every play down.
Yeah.
You know,
you have to go win. That's that's an old school mentality. Because growing up, when we grew up, I just turned 50 years old. So I grew up, I was born in 71. And my thing is like, before I got into music and graffiti art, I was into basketball. Then once I got into music and women destroyed my life. You mean that's when it went downhill. But before that, it was like I couldn't wait.
Your dad's shaking his head. What the fuck did I? I'm an Army guy. What?
I'm like a 52% criminal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to live my life. You mean?
Yeah, me too, right? We're not dead or in jail yet.
Yeah, I'm trying to find my life.
My birthday was 2 days ago as well. I just turned 54.
Oh, good. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you, bro. But so and it's funny. Growing up in the Bronx, that's what you said. You were Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
All my friends were Puerto. We hung out at PC's in Parkchester, the Riddlers, and all those Puerto Rican guys, the whole crews were our friends, and that kind of was like the problem because all my Italian buddies were hung out. All we do is hung out at PC's. You know what PC's? In Parkchester?
Is that by like Old Country Roads or Sorrento Boys or like all that?
No. You know where Riddlers was? Riddlers?
Yeah.
Right across the street. There was PC, and that was our hangout for 10 years. And that's how a lot of my buddies went to jail because we made all the connections.
Yeah.
With all the dudes, we were at the nightclub every night, and a lot of those people were famous. So I grew up with all Puerto Ricans, and when I'm in LA, people are Mexican, and it's not. So when you're in the Bronx, if you say to a Puerto Rican dude, you go, "Hey man, you're mad." What? They want to kill you. That's all I grew up with. It's Puerto Rican.
LA is so weird because it's so segregated. Like each neighborhood, and I always laugh because when out in LA we have a DMS chapter out there. So I started a chapter out there in 2003, and we go out there and all the brothers come out, but I never seen the racism compared to like in New York. Like I thought Howard Beach Guidos were bad. The Mexicans are the worst, more racist than anyone. Anyone.
Let me tell you something. I tell people that I go, hey man, I get along with everyone. I don't care if you're black. I don't care what the fuck you do. If you're cool, I'm cool.
Yeah, cool. That's how it is.
So when I moved to LA, I used to tell people, still today, I tell them, I go up in the Bronx where we all ate together. Green was our thing, where we all wanted to make money. I don't give a fuck. Puerto Rican, Black, Jamaicans, we were all family in a way. We ate together. We played sports together. There was no racism. I told people I moved to LA. That's the first thing. God. And then I didn't know like the difference between like a Jewish person because when you got to LA, people were like, yeah, the Jews run Hollywood. I'm like, what? And I'm thinking in my mind, that's the first bit of racism. Like, wow, that's crazy. And then you said the Mexicans hate it. And I'm I'm sitting in Parkchester with every Puerto Rican for my whole life, eating pizza, and like you're being like. And I didn't realize. And I told people, growing up in the Bronx, there was none of that. Everybody was bombed.
Yeah.
Out here, I realized the difference in racism.
Neighborhoods are segregated. They don't like it. The gangs, the Mexicans, the blacks don't like it. Samoans don't like them. It's all crazy thing.
It's crazy.
And the cops are the worst out there. The worst cops ever seen. It's like almost like Nazi Germany. They bug me out at the LA cops. They're like, oh shit.
But you're right though. It's like I didn't realize like racism was segregated until I moved to LA and people started going, this does this. I'm going, what? And I like that because I say hello to everybody. I always want to say, I don't care what you are. And I'm always like the friendly guy. And I realize like a lot of people don't want to be out in California. That's it. The Bronx, New York, it's a melting pot, I guess. It's small and everybody's tighter, like tighter neighborhoods.
Over there, you can avoid someone for like 2 years. In New York, if you have a problem with someone, you're gonna bump into them going to the store. You know what I mean? Right. That's why you're gonna fight. No one fights out there. Everyone sues each other. It's crazy.
Yeah. And I moved to LA and I started realizing that's the biggest thing I learned about. You just said it. No one else gets. But I said people, we never racist growing up because we didn't know that. When you move to LA, I realized segregation and racism, and I was like, wow, it was kind of weird.
I always understand, like when I see people in LA, you know what really bugged me out? When I got signed by Travis Barker, I met everyone that every movie star and everything, but sometimes when you meet someone that you love and they're asshole, I'm like, oh man, it's just hurting. I'm like, I can't, I don't even meet people anymore. But sometimes it's like the people you love, they're jerks. So like, but then again, they might have a bad day, but you might catch them on that bad day. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man,
bro. I've worked with. I'm not gonna mention them. You kind of go, that guy's cool. And then you go work with him and you want to kill him. You just I want to go home. I want to go home. You don't want to really gotta work. When you're on a show, no one gets you. You're working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, 8 months a year. So the whole vibe on a set should be fun. A lot of these people, like you said, though, are not. They're bitter. A lot of people drink. A lot of people do drugs. I don't really go out of my house. You'll never see me in Hollywood parties, events. Very rarely. I'm like, I sit with sweatpants on. I don't really go out. I don't drink. I don't really do drugs. I smoke weed. But I don't do anything else, and I don't mind like my little existence. But I can't, like you said, it makes you hate people. Like you expect to go, hey man, and somebody's a dick, and you go, You're a
Yo,
dick.
what the fuck? Yeah,
Yeah, I
totally,
thought I hate you scumbag. You know? But I call, my problem is though, and I don't no more. I used to call people out a lot.
Yeah.
And people would go, what people would say? Look, he's a troublemaker. Why? Because you're a dick, and I'm calling you out because most people suck your dick because you're famous, so they're afraid to call you out because they want to use you, motherfucker.
Right.
Hey, this is what bothered me. Now let's work now. Let's work together and get it over. You mean?
I've done that a bunch, bro.
Yeah,
But you know why? It becomes a family. Even if you don't love all your family, you have to work with people constantly. You have to kind of have this relationship where you're there every day, and you got to be friendly, and you got to just. I tell people now, you come to my set, right?
Yeah.
If you like each other, that's fine. Leave when we're done, but show up professionally and do your job if you want the job. If you don't want to be there and you're unhappy, then don't do it. And I'll hire somebody who will, but don't come there and be disruptive. That's the worst thing you can have when somebody comes to a friendly vibe and becomes disruptive, especially on a set where you got a lot of money involved. You got $100,000 a day sometimes on the line, and people come and they fuck up that vibe.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, you shouldn't be here if you're not happy. And I would tell people that we can all get along. And if we get along and we're all well, we'll all go for pizza afterwards.
The graffiti writer scene from the Bronx scene? This is his characters. He did a toy back in the day.
Dude, we grew up with him. Like he grew my neighborhood. He's got the skill.
That's crazy.
I'm good friends with Med from Tough City from the Bronx and Echo from the Bronx. Those guys, March Park boys, MPC. You know what I mean? March Park, yeah,
Mike Panini, all those guys. Guys.
Key, Cav, fucking a Cap. Also, you know what I mean? So Echo, Echo, MPC. Those guys are all my friends, all Bronx guys. You know.
All from Sorrento and Morris, but those are my
Sorrento boys.
I lived on Rylander for like 2 years of my life, right there.
I also know fucking for Old Country Road, the Shark, for the rapper, the Shark.
Me and Mike grew up since I got his song in a movie before I was even in Hollywood when I was 20.
He was really big back then with K-Slave. Yeah, he's a good guy, man. That's a good guy, bro.
That's one of my down friends since we're 13.
He was good friends. I met him years ago. We talk now all the time, but he was good friends with my friend Jason, a Filipino kid, my boy, a DMS guy, Two Hip. Which Two Hip's boy was one of the guys. His best friend was also Shark's friend who went Joey. That went to jail for killing the guy in Mount Vernon.
Joey
he did 20-something years.
Petrocell,
Yeah. How crazy is that?
That's those two brothers were friends of mine. That was my whole crew growing up.
See how crazy that is?
The Tanglewood kids, the fucking I bound with everyone.
Yeah, my friend Jason J. Now, his name was Filipino, but he's like a Filipino Guido. Jason J. Now and he grew up with Shark and he grew up with Joey. So that's
I got the Shark down with Lord William. I got him down.
All right, cool.
I'm the one who called up. He asked me, Chris. He goes, Louis, do you know Mike the Shark? I go, it's one of my closest friends. I called them up and they started Killer Music Faction together now.
Yeah. They did a few songs. Yeah.
Yeah, and I ended up putting those guys together, man.
That's cool, man. See how life is?
What, bud?
That's how life is. They're all connected. It's all street stuff. That's why show love and get love, man. That's how it is.
Can't believe you were friends with that whole Morris Park crew and all that. Like that. Yeah. Again, I lived everywhere, so I made friends with every neighborhood, and that's the story of my show at MGM. Yeah. Is that I lived in all these neighborhoods, right?
Yeah.
I lived in Country Club. I lived in Frog's Neck. I lived in Morris Park. I lived everywhere, Harlem. So I knew so many people, and I always got along with everyone. And I used to tell people, especially like crews and dudes, I go, why are we fighting? If we bound, you know how much money we could make? And we did. And that was the problem because that's how the 46 guys ended up getting pinched. I started grouping neighborhoods who were fighting. And I'd be like, guys, you could do this, we could do. And that's what happened. And most of the crews that hate each other end up becoming friends because of me. And it got so big that I started going, don't trust everyone. They told me smoke more weed. I said, okay. And I left. Okay. When I get a vibe with people, I'm like, I don't want to be around these people. And I would go to my grandfather was a lifer, basically, right? Yeah. And I would go to Lewisburg and all these prisons, and I talked to them.
Allenwood, all of them,
Otisville, Danbury. I've been in prison, right? I was like institutionalized since I was a kid without being. I was in Lewisburg since I was 5. I'll show you pictures. You'll be like, no way. And a lot of the guys in these pictures with me when I was 5 are the bosses now. So it's kind of fun. Like guys who were just like, hey, little baby Lou's here. They used to call me. So I like, I would watch these. I would tell these guys, don't trust them. My grandfather would tell me, oh, these guys are not good. These guys, because he knew from the prison. Yeah. He would hear whose papers came down and whose shit came down. And he'd be like, oh, grandson, don't stay with this person. Don't go. So I started shying away to be an actor, and they went hardcore. And I was like, no. And I put all these neighborhood crews together. And they would always say to me now, when they're getting out, a lot of them were at the pizza thing. And they were like, and they'd always be like, you're always a smarter one. You didn't trust people. They thought it was the weed. I would hear from my grand. I would try to tell them, greed is a destruction of everything. Once you get greed, it's like cancer.
It's sad because it happens to the nicest people, the strongest people in the world. Yeah. It's like almost like drug. Greed is like a drug. Because it is. Like you know how many people from your neighborhood that was like superstars in the neighborhood, and all of a sudden crack and heroin destroys their whole fucking life. It's over. And it's so sad. It's so fucking sad that that happens.
Yeah. And that's right. And that was the problem, like in every neighborhood, I guess. And you grew up in the same neighborhood I did, which I love. Like we're like, closer than we thought without even knowing it. But it's like I would tell these dudes, don't trust everyone for $1. Your freedom is no, fuck you, Ja, you're crazy. And they started cutting me out. And you want to know the story? They cut me out for $1,000. I would put it, whatever. People are doing something for $1,000. I was making $1,000.
Yeah, the guy, and they got lost.
Making 60, and he couldn't get it without me. And he goes, "You're making $1,000." I go, "You're making 60." He goes, "No." And then silently, "No, bro, they cut me out." And you know how I found out they cut me out? This is in the show. I found out. Listen to this, bro. And these were my boys, like guys, like 14 family, like family.
Yeah,
we like 4 of us, and. They go, no, we don't need it no more. And I introduced them, and I didn't put it together. And then about a year later, when they all got pinched 2 years later, I got the indictments, and I got the picture.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow. So you told me you already found someone different, but you stole my guys.
You took your plugs.
And I started showing. Right. And you know what they said? They were like, Duck. They used to call me Ducky. It's my nickname. And people don't know Louis. They know Ducky. So if you go... So I would go, wow, like you fucking, but thank God, because it made me be able to move on. Because if I would have been there, who knows if I would have been that guy who got 20 years for the kingpin role that they all got. And they got kingpin laws, all of them. Because it was done in front of a church. They had pictures of them. And I was like, and they hate
that's
each other.
Fucking
bro,
crazy.
And they hate each other, these dudes. These dudes were like, fuck him. I was like, no, again.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. And then they became buddies. And they all got greedy, and the FBI was watching, and that's the story. How I got away for $1,000, and now they're all filtering out of the system, going, "You were right." Because when they went to jail, instead of me being a scumbag, I didn't talk to them for years. But my grandfather was a legend. Like he ran the federal prison system. Still now, he's dead. He's like a legend.
Yeah.
And I go, Grandpa, so and so's coming in. They're not tough guys. They're just drug dealers who got 20 years. And he watched out for all of them, and they love that.
That's amazing. That's like you're a real person. Listen. It's so crazy that the streets, like a lot of people that don't know me, but they know me from the graffiti world. When I was young, the graffiti world, I was an animal. I'm talking about people and people know who I am, how I started my crew, and they know who I am.
What was your tag?
Ezek, EZEC. That's what it is. Ezek DMS. I used to kill Queens. Me and MQ, we had wars with everyone. That's what we're known for. And
is that how you know Scene? Scene? Is that how you know?
I know Med. Med is Scene. I know them because they know me. Med became good friends with me. Echo became good friends with me. And I had beef always. Rhino, KGB kids from the Bronx. All those kids. I know all those kids out there. But it's all war, so they all give me respect. All these guys give me respect when they see me now. The older guys. And it's funny. I see the older guys who are like. All Puerto Rican writers, they look at me like, "Oh man, we see what you're doing. We love you. We know you're a real guy for the streets." And I'm like, that's what I love when the real people see me and they give me respect. And I'm like, "Thank you." They recognize real. That's how it is. Right?
That's right. And you just vibe with people, and like we come from a place where you can vibe with people in the right way like that. Even if no matter what they do, you could that's your energy because that's the energy we were brought up with. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like I said, man. It's funny because my show now has the artist in it. Great day with the cardboards. Remember my we used to go to Parkchester, the PC go to Puerto Rico with the cardboards.
Linoleum floors.
Yeah. Not me. I was too big for that, but my buddy. and they would battle for money, and I loved it. And I actually incorporated into my show I'm doing is called Small Time, about small
cool.
and we're and that again, I made one of them a massive graffiti dude. That's great from what we're talking about.
Yeah, growing up.
One of them was used to do the breakdancing. He was like real. He was great. So we used to go with him and cheer him on at the club, the Fun House. Remember,
Funhouse, Mars, all the places.
1018.
Yeah, fucking place.
Yeah, bro. But
land quarters.
Yeah, that's what my show is basically. In those,
I can't wait to see it, bro. I can't wait to see it.
You show me the scene thing. That's so fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's my upbringing. So like I said, man, I believe, I try to tell people, get along with most people as you can. If people are dicks, stay away. You don't need to fight with everybody. You don't need to have, when we were kids, we did stupid shit. We fought with everybody for whatever. I was always bonded. I always wanted to make people make money. I always liked people. I always wanted to sit with people and sit that. Now I'm learning, if people don't get along, you just move on. You don't fight with people. You don't argue.
I want to bring the conversation back to what we were talking about a little bit before, which was just kind of your trajectory, Louis, which is so interesting to me. Again, just as you said, somebody who has manifested this kind of thing, and dude, even just watching you and Danny talk, it's kind of like this serendipitous connection, and stuff. So
yeah, I love it.
What do you? Tell me a little bit more about that journey. So Natural Born Killers to
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me hit you. Okay, yeah.
Bring me through that journey. I want to know too, again, dude, you've had have stayed in this game. Like, what do you attribute that to? Is that just because, like your point and what Isaac's talking about, it's like being available, showing up on time, being like, give me a little bit about that. Cause dude, you've been in the game for a fucking long time working on.
Yeah, I've been 30 years. I've been doing it for 38. My biggest thing is consistency and persistence. Always just keep being consistent at what you do and persistent. Always just do it, and consistent. You're great at what you do. Be great every time. I got off the phone with my daughter 10 minutes ago. She has a cheerleading competition. And she's like, I said, you won last week. If it's the best team, you're playing the best team again next week. You don't let down. You got to come next time and be better than you were last week. Or you're going to get ass beat on the next week. You're going to come in fourth place. And so my mentality is always win, right? And I believe that in my career. So after I did that Oliver Stone movie, everybody started hiring me. Tim Burton, John Landis, Ivan Reitman. So I had a great little film career, as 6 or 7 years. Then, comes along this movie called Suicide Kings. I was supposed to, right? Yeah, everyone, Leary, Walken. So I do this movie. My buddy's the producer, writer, and he's like, Louis. He goes, I wrote this lead for you with the other dude from Amongst Friends. He's in it as well. Right? See that, bro?
Yeah.
Really? My other buddy, you saw Suicide. So other guy, Frank, was in it with Brad Garrett. I was supposed to be Brad Garrett. The director was like, no, we don't want Louis. I want Brad and I want Frank, my other dude. The big guy. I'm Franklin. And I'm like, okay, I got no problem. I walk away. You don't want me. I don't want to be on the set being forced anywhere. Yeah. So I leave. My dude's a writer, producer, goes, Louis, would you do one day on the movie with me? $500. You got no lines. Dennis Leary has 8 monologues. You're going to go, yeah, boss. And I went, you're my friend. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Now I say, all right.
The fish boots. The
boots. When he beats the guy with the toaster. I remember, yo.
So I now I'm doing these movies, I'm not making it's my first 5, 6, 7 years in Hollywood. I'm doing great, but you're not getting rich. You're making 10, 15 grand a movie and you're happy. You're working with major stars. Everyone respected each other back then. It was a lot different. So I do this movie, Suicide King, no money. I wasn't supposed to be the star, nothing. I was supposed to be a big role. I took it anyway because of my friend. I do the movie, I shoot the movie. Me and Leary, I show up to see Leary one night. I have one night on the movie. Leary's like, to call the director in the trailer. He goes, see all these pages? He had 10-page monologue. This is true. He goes, I'm not going to say this. Crumples it up, throws it out, says, me and this guy, he didn't even know me. He goes, I like this guy. Me and this guy are just going to improvise. You go back in your trailer. The guy's like, no, but I need that. He goes, I'm not saying these lines. Now I'm like this in the trailer. Because, I just got booted to the curb.
Yeah.
Now the guy's like, we're gonna.
The main actor wants you.
That's awesome, man.
Hey, you get me all the time like this. You hire me. If I take that up, I'm showing up like this. 1,000 miles an hour. Let's play. Let's do it. I'm always like
John.
I get to the thing. Me and Leary start improvising. 12 hours later in the car, all of that shit was said. I had not one line. We shoot the shit. The director comes up to me. He goes, "Hey, bro. See all this stuff you did?" I go, yeah. I thought it was good. being happy still. He goes, none of it's staying in. I was like, what a dick. I said, okay, bye.
Why did he say like that?
Because my guy was the main guy, the producer, writer, and he was forcing me to be in. The director didn't want to be forced.
Oh, all right.
You know, and I get it. That's why I didn't want the tension. I was like, Wayne, let me just do this little thing. I'm fine. You're my boy. I'll do anything for you. And I did it. Turns out, one day, $500, right? Christopher Walken's in the movie. Who's his wife? Georgianne. She cast Sopranos. She cast.
All right.
She cast the lady in the business, Georgianne Walken. That's her husband. She's in this movie, Danny.
And she got you.
Louis, I fucking love you. You were great in this movie. Want to come in for the show? It's called The Sopranos. But there's a pilot before it was shot.
Oh, so all right.
So I go in, I read, and about a week later, I get a show called Fantasy Island where I lived in Hawaii. That's why I'm friends with all the Samoans. All the Hawaiian dudes are my family. I read.
They can party. They can eat.
I became their brother. Every week we were out on yachts in Hawaii and eating buffets together. Me and their family. Those people reminded me of the biggest family. I love them.
The Samoans, island people are very religious and they love music and they're very family. Barbecues, the pig roast, amazing.
I would be with their families eating I did this for a year. So long story short, I couldn't do the Soprano pilot because I got a job doing the show Fantasy Island with Malcolm McDowell. It was me and Malcolm. You know what that
dope.
is?
Yeah.
So me and Malcolm started to remake a Fantasy Island in Hawaii. So I got to live there. Barry Sonnenfeld did it. So I got to live in Hawaii for a year, but it pulled me out of the first season of Sopranos, right? So now I'm like, Georgianne will love me, and the Fantasy Island is tanking. It's an ABC show. I'm the blame. They're blaming me. He's not funny. You know? And I'm 30 years old, living in Hawaii, having best time you could ever imagine. My trailer was the party hangout because.
But did that mess with your head? That it was tanking?
Yeah, they tried to, but they didn't. I go, fuck this. I was like, okay. I said, hey, you ready for this? I'll tell you what. I said, if I'm to blame, fire me. They did, right? And guess what happened? I'm sitting there going, wow, I'm 30 years old. I'm on the biggest show at ABC. It's a big show. It's failing. I'm to blame. I go, the show gets canceled. I go, they fire me first.
Yeah.
I go to New York to see my mom for Christmas. Georgianne Walken goes a year and a half later, Louis in town? Can you have him come in right now? Tells my agent.
Yeah.
My agent's like, yeah. I get out the next day. I'm in New York. 2 days later, I go in to meet Georgianne, and I go upstairs, and who's in there? Gandolfini with pages. She's like, we want you to audition, FBI agent. I was like, what?
Whoa.
They never forgot. The stuff was so powerful that my energy that I brought to that with nothing in it, I created that whole Do Suicide Kings thing. They wrote a sequel for the movie for me and Leary for that. And I told Georgianne, never forgot, $500 one day. They love me for Sopranos.
Yes, that's amazing.
I knew Gandolfini, 95. We would hang out in the clubs in LA and bars and drink, and, you know. And we were boys, and he's the sweetest guy, you know.
He was I used to see him all the time in the Lower East Side when he's doing Sopranos. He used to go to Manitoba, and we used to hang out all the time. Him, little Stevie, all that.
Greatest dude ever before he was famous as well. And I knew. So now I get back. I'm thinking I'm the failure of this big show on ABC, and I'm like, motherfucker, this sucks. Georgianne calls me the next day. I read. At 4 scenes, James reads, because I'm reading with you. I go, oh, you kidding? Really? He goes, no, I'm reading with you. Reads one scene, middle of the room. He goes, stop, done. I go, oh, fuck. Like, I just got booted out of here. You know? I go, holy fuck. Like, this is really depressing. Like, wow. I'll be back on the streets if I don't get to like, I'm in New York going, all right, what do I do here? So I go in the elevator. I go downstairs. My agent's like, Louis, they want you. I was like, what? Gandolfini threw the sides out. He goes, you don't need to read anymore. I got you. And I thought again it was going to be like the suicide things where I was being forced and they weren't going to like me. And I'm like, I'd rather do it on my own merit, you know? Turns out I got the role before I even hit the downstairs. My agent's like,
that's awesome.
And I started. So you ready for this, dude? $500.
Yeah.
One day on that Suicide Kings turned into the Sopranos because they remember that. Right? Wait, gets bigger and better. Now I'm like, wow, this is great. I'm in Sopranos. Shoot the Sopranos. 3 years later, after Sopranos, I'm getting all this hype. I did another show for Judd Apatow. I played a crackhead called Life on Parole. And I played this guy who gets out of jail. He's a crackhead. And it was a great show. DreamWorks and Judd Apatow directed it. John Favreau directed it. And
that's cool.
And there was a lot of great people, but I was like the star. I played a crack addict, you know, at the parole office every day. Going, okay. So that show gets me a little more recognition. About a year later, I get a call from the creator of 24, and he goes, "Hey,
that was big for you. Yeah, that was big for you.
Huge. So I'm on the phone with the guy, and he goes, "Come on in." I go in. He goes, "Louis, I watched again, $500." He goes, "I watched you on Sopranos. I loved you." He goes, "You were great." He goes, "I'm going to put you on one episode of 24. If we like you, it'll go." And I was like,
come back.
But again, Danny, where'd it come from? It came from the Sopranos. Where'd the Sopranos come from? That one day for free that I did for my friend.
Yeah, you went there, you did it.
Improvised. I did 10 scenes. I'm in the whole movie.
You never know. You never
fucking know, Danny. Take it. You believe in something, show up 100 miles an hour.
I'm gonna tell you a crazy story. You're gonna laugh. One time, so I went to along to 2005. I forgot where we were, but we went to Dominique Storm and Melrose Brooklyn Projects back in the 01, and he had a party, and it was me and Caves. Me and Caves were out there. So Caves,
that's the Brooklyn guy.
Yeah, but Lords of Brooklyn. Me and Caves.
Yeah.
So Caves, Everlast comes down. I bring Peter Green, and Caves is with Michael Perriali and Anna Bosquero. So all of a sudden we were talking. We all listened to talk. So me and Michael Perriali hang out. Me and Michael Perriali, we become
good guy.
Good. Yo, I love great motherfucker. I love Mike. He's a great guy. Michael's a great guy. Me and him become boys, right? Remember, I introduced Peter Green to Annabella, and he was like, when he saw like Annabella's Peter Green, he couldn't even talk. He's like, I'm like, yo, what the fuck's wrong with you? Yeah, and Annabella and I, we couldn't stop laughing because she was like, she's like, Danny, where you from? No, and I was like, for Queens. She goes, oh, Queens. I was like, she's so Brooklyn. I'm like, she's like, I'm just Canarsie. I'm like, she's like, oh, Queens. I'm like, yo, stop it, man. I was like, but I met those guys, and we all hung out, and people were like, Everlast, me, Caves, Michael, Annabella, DJ Letho, and people were like, what the hell is going on over here? You know what I mean? But we're all New Yorkers out there, you know, in LA.
Being real with that energy.
Real. That's all real.
I used to stay with Danny Boy and Everlast. I did their video on point.
Yeah, on point. Yeah, point.
It was me, Savannah.
Yeah.
Juliette Lewis's dad. Actor guy.
Right turn, Clyde.
Yeah. But we used to hang out at Danny's and Everlast and DJ.
Yeah.
We at the house and play Xbox back, and they used to play back football. Back in this is 92, 94, 95.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing their video, which I love those guys. We used to hang out. They were great guys as well. Yeah. And so anyway, that's kind of another little win.
It's crazy music, right?
Yeah, it's kind of cool though. Yeah, it's a small world and it's a small circle, dude, you know? But again, man, I've been in this business forever. What I try to tell young people, listen to no one, be positive, don't get rejected on every rejection. That means don't go put your head in the fucking sand. Young actors acting today, oh, it's so hard. Yeah, life is hard.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, the young kids don't understand. They get hurt from words and stuff. Like we're hurt when we get our parents or whoever we get smacked. Or like you can't yell at kids now.
The wooden spoon over your fucking head. Remember the wooden spoon?
My father. Remember, my father was a cop. My father was born. Rest in peace, my father. But my father was born in 1936, and his parents came from the Holocaust. You know what I mean? Like forever came in. With, right. You know what we talking about? Like his parents, the First World War, come over. And so he's like he's Polish Jew, and he's when I was a little kid. And he was a cop. He used to bring me to like precinct. He'd be like, "Oh, this is my little Nicaraguan," and all the guys, and the black cops would be like, "Damn, Jeremy, had jungle fever." Yo, they're like, "Yo, I knew it." We say like, "Yo," but he was like Archie Bunker, my father. He was like, "Oh, like
daddy's Jewish, your mom is Puerto Rican."
Yes. So
your dad was like Archie Bunker.
Archie Bunker. Oh, the shit he would say, I would cry. I'd be like, "What the hell's what?" And people are like, "Yo, that dude's racist." That dude. I said, "No, listen." Like old school guys are just New York old school guys. I mean, that's all they are. That's how they talk.
I saw a thing when Norman Lear explained about Archie Bunker. They're like, he was so racist. Why do people hate him? They were like, because he grew up not knowing any better. That was just him. He wasn't like big racist, they said.
No.
And that's why the audience accepted Archie Bunker so well. because he wasn't meaning it. It was more like, this is all I knew, and this is what I was,
And it made you laugh, the shit he said, man.
That's funny, man. That's funny, man. It's crazy that your dad was a cop and you became 52%.
Yo, Louis, you mentioned too earlier frozen pizza, man, that you're working on something. So before you get into that, I gotta ask you, man, like,
wait, so I will. I'll go right back in 1 second.
Okay.
So I do 24. I'm supposed to do one episode. I'm supposed to do one episode of Sopranos. It turns into the whole season, the whole arc.
Amazing.
Then I go to 24, and I was supposed to do one episode as well from that role. I did 48. We won an Emmy. A kid with no education, no acting class,
Bronx.
no film school, Bronx mentality, win. And that's when you don't need the best schools. You could pick up a book. You could pick up shit. You could use your heart. Be strong. And I did that, and that's why I try to tell people. I won an Emmy. I've been on 4 of the biggest shows in TV history: Sopranos, Entourage, 24, and I forgot one other one, the Easy Streets. And and it was like, and I did it with just self-knowledge and never quitting. Never. You can't get me to quit, dude. You'd have to shoot me in the head before you tell me I'm never going to succeed. That's how I do it. Do everything 110%.
Yeah, that is
every
fucking.
Minute. Every
That's amazing,
minute.
man. Your
so
journey.
Anyway, I wanted to end it on like that positive where I had nothing. I grew up with nobody. I didn't know anyone in the business. I moved to LA with $5,000 in a car. I stood on floors. I hung out with great people. As we know, we're talking about all the people that before they were successful were my friends, and we ate. I had a house. I used to cook for everyone. Everyone came to my house. Everyone. Leonardo, fucking House of Pain. Every dude was at my house, and I have videos of it. And I'm videoing the house where we'd have these massive parties in my house. And there were 4 dudes living in the house. We all chipped in $200 a month rent. We didn't pay them, but we just had massive parties in Santa Monica. And that's sad as it may seem, the porno star Savannah, she died on her way to my party. It was in GQ.
Oh man,
she was on her way with Dave because all the House of Pain dudes.
Yeah. That's sad.
And their dude was with her, and they were driving, and she crashed to my house. And she went back home, and that's when she did what she did, But anyway, so I read this in GQ magazine. I'm like, wow, this is crazy, It said one of the fat guys from among friends was on the way to our house, and we remember it. It was like yesterday. But our house was a bonding house too. I would teach all these dudes. I'm gonna bring it to the food thing now. But I teach all these dudes. You have me teaching Michael Rappaport, 1993, in our house, like how to cook. And I would cook all these dudes. It was almost like a prison thing. Where I was in the house with all these dudes. I would cook. They would put it in Tupperwares, and all these dudes. And I would teach them. Danny, I would go to the supermarket because I go to the supermarket now. I spend 4 or 5 hours a week in supermarkets. I love supermarkets.
Did you have a source? You had a source. Didn't you have a source?
Yeah. It was kick back off pizzas. So anyway, I would.
Well, that's But before we wrap up, because we're gonna run out of time again. But
go ahead.
I want to plug the pizza thing, and I want to know too, Louis, from you, like, where's your favorite New York slice? Because you're being.
You know what? I believe, again, all pizza is good. These guys, you saw where we were, Danny. All those great pizza makers. I will never disrespect any of them. I will
Shout
never.
To Nino.
Well,
shout to Nino.
but I would never discredit any of them. They're all great. Yeah. They all put their heart and soul and their love into these products. I am not a critic. I am an eater. I think they are all great. You can throw a rock.
But come on, you're getting off that plane, and what's that first slice you want? I'm not, respect to all, peace and love to all, but that first slice, where is it?
You go to my neighborhood in the Bronx, because that's basically where I go. And there's a place called Tommy's, and the guy's been there 60-something years. And you ready for this? When I was back last month doing Gravesend, that show I'm doing in Brooklyn, Gravesend. I'm executive producing and starring a show. Did the first season, it's on Amazon. We're doing the second season now. I just shot a bunch of episodes in New York.
It's cool. The first season's cool, man.
Pretty cool, right?
I like it.
Cast, Danny. We got a massive cast. It's Dice Clay, Fran Drake. Everyone jumped on this year, right?
Zane's in it too, Lou Zane.
Everyone. But anyway, so when I get off the Bronx, I go to the Bronx, right, bro? When I was a kid, 12 years old, I used to go to this pizzeria called Tommy's in the Bronx. And the guy would be making them. Bro, I'm 40. I'm 54. I go back a month ago. The guy's still in the same spot. That's amazing. And I go to the death me. I go, bro, I can't believe you're still here. He can't even speak English. He looks at me. Yeah. I go, you've been here since I was fucking 10. I'm 50. And I don't think he liked it. He was like, okay. I didn't tell him about his age. But the dude is still at the counter. serving spices 60 years later, bro. So those are the neighborhood places that I really love. Louis and Ernie's in my neighborhood. Louis and Ernie's is like ranked one of the best pizza places in the country on all the surveys. That guy I played football with. I played football with the owner. Like when I was 15,
amazing.
And so I grew up believing, and again, I'm not a fucking critic. You know, all of these guys make great pizza. No matter what you like at what the moment, they can all be even to me, you know? And I respect their talent. I respect their creativity, how they make the doughs, what their sauces. I love it. I love the art of pizza. So when you ask me what's the best, I think majority of the New York places are.
I agree. I live in Connecticut and right next to New Haven. So we got it banging.
We're going to Pepe's when I get back. Danny,
Louis.
And our pizza, and the other one too. We're gonna have both of them.
Louis, I'll treat you, and I'll take you to my favorite spot, which is a place called Franco's that I think you would love. So we'll have Danny take the train over, and I'll take you on a little.
Listen, I'm down.
Get somebody to pick us up, Danny, and we're gonna go to fucking
Connecticut. Here we go.
We're gonna go, man. This one's on me. So Louis, before we wrap up, where can everybody keep up with you? Plug the Instagram really quick.
Okay, so my Instagram is @Louis Lombardi. The pizza company is called Ava Lou's Italian Pizza Company. Ava's my daughter. I'm Lou. It's a family business. Me and my daughter do. I'm trying to I want her to be part of whatever thing I do. I'm brought up by all Italian women, so all I did was cook since I'm 5, and that's where all my passion and love for food and family comes from. You know, that Italian house. We always took everyone in. My house. My dude just got off death row. He lived with me. We had so many people live with us when we were kids that were whatever kids, like misguided. And most of them were family. And now one dude just got off death row. He just called me as he's out in Pennsylvania. He did 30 years, like my brother, you know? So all these guys we took in, I believe food, fun, and family is what life is about. We need that. We need to bring families back to the dinner
breaking
table.
Breaking bread.
Fucking bread. You saw what I did at our pizza thing. I everyone together, bro. And everyone, let's eat. Let's just hug and laugh. Like I don't.
That's how it should be. That's how it should be, man.
And so the pizza company evolved from that. Me growing up learning all these Italian. So people love the mentality. QVC already ordered 10,000 pizzas.
That's amazing.
Because they love the story. Me being brought up by all Italian women. Now I have my daughter doing it with me. It's 5 generations.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And I'm like the only guy. You know?
That's amazing. Good luck with that. You know, that's so amazing, bro.
And I love women. The women are my life. That's all I'm
Yeah.
That's it. That's my life. So I named the company Ava Lou's. Me and her, I helped doing it. She's gonna come with me and do this tour. She's a beautiful girl. She's got a little red hair. She's like my best friend. We get along.
And we'll make sure that we'll have all the information on the screen too. So make sure you send us all the.
I would love, Danny. I would love to come back on and talk about like the old days of the graffiti shit, the
trees. We have you again. We'll have you again, bro.
Yeah, we definitely gotta have. Louis, you know what would make this awesome is that when you're here, we recorded in person at my shop. Because I got a record store here.
You bring the fucking pizzas.
Well, that's the thing. I got a record shop here. We can do the pizzas and we usually prior to the pandemic, dude, we'd always done these in person, actually recorded them right in Manhattan.
Yeah.
So that would be a lot of fun, man. Because dude, you've been such a great guest, man.
We're gonna provide the pizzas and then we're gonna test the pizzas and see which one.
Me and Isaac would love that. We would love that. And you know who that would be so much fun, man. And I would love to do that because you've been so generous with your time, dude. Dude, the stories you have, like I said, man, we didn't even get to talk.
I had a great time. This is amazing.
I love it, bro.
Louis, thank you so much, my brother. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Louis.
Don't worry. And I want to do one. You bring the pizzas. We'll do it in-house. And I want to talk about like the graffiti stuff, Danny, and the music, and not just Hollywood shit, but the shit that
No. We're gonna go. And
I'm gonna say goodnight to everybody. But we're gonna talk with
Louis. I love you, brother.
Shout out to everybody. Keep up with us on YouTube. Everybody follow Louis on Instagram. I love you guys. You're the best.
World is mine. Rap, baby. Rap, trapping. Yeah, Diablo.